Aloha. Welcome to Truthiracy, House of Wisdom. So, I'm making this quick video because I should have actually included this in my last video, which I did not. So, I really want to express and go over this very important issue about them working together. So, I proved the points that I was going to prove in part one, and this is part two, if you will. Um, Here's the facts. I should have included in that first video that I too have hired as the years that I've worked in various businesses as a manager or GM or whatever. I too have hired off duty police officers to cover for an event, whether it be during the holidays or for a special event, nightclub, whatever. So I should have, given my 2 cents in of my experiences. And my experience is that when you hire an off duty police officer, he's not one of the employees whatsoever. The regular staff, security staff that she had on board, or that one would have on board, would know each other, of course. Most likely. I mean, without a doubt. But an off duty hired police officer who's working security for a special event, first of all, they make tons of money. They get paid a very high rate. And they go in there, right when they start, they want to get the hell out of there. And that's been my experience with the police officers. They really don't care too much about the event. They really care more about just getting paid for these various events because they get, like I said, good money for it. So the ones that I've hired come in right when they start. They went to the side even and weren't even really doing anything but just watching over the event as the bouncers up front were actually checking IDs and that type of thing. Sometimes they would get up there and involve themselves a little bit, but for the most part they stood off to the side. Right when their time was up, they left. They didn't go around meeting the employees and everybody knew who they were. They met a couple of the guys outside. That was it. And that's the truth of it. So in my experience on various occasions, the hired police officers don't feel like an employee. They feel like they're a higher status, like in which they are. That's why they're paid higher, actually. So they come in, do their job, and get out of there. They're not, employees who walk around, clock in, sitting around, cleaning up, opening up, and closing up. None of that. They come in, they do the police official security. They get paid tons of money for it, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Even the hourly rate is outrageous. So anyway, um, that's the truth of it. Now that I look back, my own personal experience would say that these guys probably didn't know each other whatsoever, which is exactly why we never heard Floyd, like I said, yelling up saying, "Hey, Derek, get off my neck, bro. You know me. What's going on?" That would have been the first thing you would say if you knew somebody. If that was your friend Steve or whatever, you'd be like, "Steve, what are you doing, Steve?" So, the fact that that never happened in all the videos that we saw proved that neither one of them recognized each other. So, the fact that they happened to have worked at the same place and he was called in and blah blah. I don't want to say it. You can watch the first video with all that other stuff. So, all of that other stuff combined with this new stuff is more evidence, especially in my opinion, that it was not staged to that degree, which we'll get into that at a later point. But I'm just trying to state the fact that this guy really died. That I can prove. All my other videos prove what they proved. And the fact is, I'm now proving, without question, that these guys were not friends just because they worked together. They weren't secret CIA agents together working like that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They did not know one another. And if they worked together, they barely knew each other and crossing paths. That's the facts so far. Now, if a bunch of pictures arise with them hanging out together and they were friends, might have a difference of opinion on that. Now we have a connection. So um, the connection of them working together is not a real connection. It was at first until you dig deeper and realize that there is no connection, at least to the degree which would call for the type of things that everyone's saying that has happened. So, like I said, those guys are not Houdini masters. They didn't have some, gizmo where they're able to hover over him with three men hovering over George, not, taking the pressure off, their weight pressure off of his back where he can't breathe. That's not the truth. The truth was those three men were over his back. Those three men were exerting extreme amount of pressure and limiting his ability to breathe, and that is a fact. So whether it was staged or not doesn't matter because he actually did die like that. It's just like 9/11. Yes, it was staged, but did people fucking really die that day? Yes, they really did. So I'm trying to express the fact that yes, this really happened, and people trying to take the whole thing away in a different direction is beyond, reason. You have to be reasonable, show proof and facts, and go from there. Not jump off the wild end and start making calls that aren't true, you know. And that's what I was trying to show in my first videos, and which I believe I have established without question, and even now with this one. So um, I can say without fact that most likely they did not know one another, which is exactly why they did not act on video, various videos, security camera too, that they knew each other. So that's that, guys. Until the next video, peace, love, and wisdom. Aloha.